Oh man, Derios, this Nintendo Direct is gonna be great! For you, that is. I'm not sure if I'll see anything that'll interest someone like me. Whoa, don't be like that. I'm sure you'll see something you'll like.
What's this? An invitation? You're invited to live in a magical world with Mickey Mouse and...
Hey, that was the game you looked at last year, wasn't it? Are you kidding me?
Your own whimsical costumes.
Oh, that really did my original review. I guess I've got to cover this one now. Man, this Derek is pulling all sorts of surprises.
Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition. Sword.
Good evening, Monsters of the Light. And, well, this was certainly a surprise. In that September Nintendo Direct, it was announced that Disney Magical World 2 was getting a Switch port, which made me lose my shit because I looked at the original during last year's Eerie Endorsements. Do you think your review surged new interest in the game? Maybe, but I highly doubt it. That review also seems to be one of the more popular videos on this channel. I guess Disney just sells. This video is going to act as a bit of an extension to the original one I did, which is why it's titled Derios Revisits, not Derios Reviews. So if you're new here, you may want to check out my video about the original first, since I'll be skimming over the basics this time around, and we'll just be talking about how this version differs from the 3DS game. Just ignore the less than stellar video quality and the fact my voice sounded way different back then. So, what do I think about this version? Well, to be honest, there's not much to talk about that I haven't seen in my original review. This version is pretty much the same Disney-themed life sim, but on the Nintendo Switch, cross-dressing and all. Okay, it isn't exactly the same as the original, but there are a handful of differences which I'll go over right now. The game has a higher resolution and runs a bit better than the 3DS version, obviously. Especially with the magical dreams, because some of those used to tank the frame rate on 3DS. I do wish this version was more of a remaster, like what Grizzle did with the Miitopia port, but this is just all the 3DS assets in a higher resolution, kinda like Rune Factory 4 Special. But it is nice seeing the game in a resolution that is day 240p. Since the Nintendo Switch Disney doesn't have an outside camera, the feature to get items from QR codes and AR cards will remove, and Nintendo zones aren't a thing anymore, so you can rule those out too. Instead, the items that you can get from those things can be obtained through talking to Bella and choosing the search for gifts option. Collecting medals is handled a bit differently too. I didn't mention this in my original review, but some things in Scrooge McDuck's shop can only be bought with this secondary currency. In the 3DS version, you can get them through Street Pass or inviting guests every 6 hours. In Enchanted Edition, you could only get them from inviting guests, since Street Pass isn't a thing on the Switch, as much as I wish it was. But you didn't have to invite new guests each time to get medals. Instead, if you speak to the guests you've invited, they'll give you some every 6-hour interval, which is a lot better if I'm being honest. Though I did run into a few glitches in this version. There was one time where my fishing rod was invisible for some reason, another where Tinkerbell was buried in the sand. I guess Peter Pan had enough of her sass. And a third where poor Taylor became invisible too. That one gave me a good laugh actually. But I'm sure those were just rare occurrences. These will probably be patched out sooner or later. But apart from all that, this is, again, pretty much the same game only on Nintendo Switch. I thought there was gonna be more to talk about when getting this, but I guess not. So, if the idea of a Disney-themed life sim still sounds fun to you, pick it up. And I'd recommend it over the original even though it doesn't change or add much. Overall, I'm just happy that this version exists, as more people will get to experience it. I did mention in my original review that copies of the 3DS original were getting rare, and that was pulled from the 3DS eShop in some regions. Although, now that I think about it, maybe it was pulled because they were working on this version. Though I hate the fact that it's being sold at full retail price. Well, it is on Amazon anyway. I'm surprised this was considered a budget title. You may want to wait for a price drop before putting your dosh down on it. Okay, with this done, can we finally get started on that special video? Well, hopefully, yes! Ah, good. I'll be off now. Me and Angelos need to work on something big. So thank you for watching, stay safe, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year? I wonder if I should trade in my previous copy.
You know that you're ready to go. There's always a place in your heart. The magical power of love. Remember if...
So if you're new here, you may want to check out my... You may want to check out my... I want to say the freaking line, but I keep botching it up.